Hello, everyone. Welcome to Walking Alone Through Domestic Violence, One Just World Coffee Chat. It is an honor to be here during Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I'm Dr. Debbie Flickinger, an affiliate faculty in the Interdisciplinary Studies doctoral program in the Humanities and Culture concentration. I am also an enrollment and engagement specialist. Moreover, I am a survivor of domestic violence. The purpose of this coffee chat is to share my lived experience of domestic violence through a narrative which I hope will be one that will be healing and empowering for all who tune in. It is my intention that you join me as I reflect on parts of the path that brought me here today. My intention is to reach out to anyone out there who is experiencing domestic violence with words of hope and encouragement. I want to let you know you never have to walk alone as I did. Today we will explore the following questions. The overarching question is, what is domestic violence? The second question is, what was my personal experience? Then we will end on some final thoughts about support, faith, and hope. Let's begin with the overarching question. What is domestic violence? In domestic violence, prevalence, risk, factors, and perspectives, Michael Ortiz states the concept of domestic violence refers to acts of violence and abuse of one family member over another. Family violence is an issue of major concern for psychologists and families, community, and social decision makers. It is a dramatic phenomenon which generates pain, trauma, physical, and psychological scars. In my experience, family dynamics stand in the way of truthful and authentic dialogue about domestic violence. Even in today's world, where help is so available, people of all ages, genders, race, and religious groups are afraid to reach out due to the stigma that still plagues societies. In addition, some researchers show that physical violence and abuse of animals is a prelude to domestic violence. Historically, domestic violence dates back to the beginning of time. My current research has brought me face to face with the cruelty that goes back to the first written word. According to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence website, in the United States, more than 10 million adults experience domestic violence annually. The, the statistics is based on those cases that are reported. What was my personal experience? I was 19 when I got married to a man who I knew was abusive. I was still dealing with the loss of my mother and my childhood. The thing is that it was a two-way street. I fought back. I wasn't going to sit there and do nothing. I was angry, and that anger led me to retaliation. We were married for 13 years before I had the courage to leave. One evening, I watched the film, What's Love Got to Do with It, with Tina Turner, who was telling her story of abuse and violence in her marriage to Ike Turner. Suddenly, I found myself looking in the mirror of my life. Within 6 months, I was gone with my 3 children. I left the marriage, left the house, I left everything. I was so gung ho to get away that I never even thought to sought out child support. The movie changed my life and it made it possible for me to realize that we would be okay. I lived through this trauma alone. In my culture, the Black community in Boston and Los Angeles made it taboo to talk about the personal aspects of our lives. I was always made to believe that no one would want me, especially with 3 kids. During the 13 years of marriage, I believed him and I had no self esteem. I doubted my capability to not only support myself, but my children. Since I had no family to turn to, I was absolutely alone. But I managed to pick myself up, dust myself off, and start all over again. Within me, I found a strong sense of faith that consequently allowed miracles to come into my life and flow with the river that would lead me to the here and now. My final thoughts. Domestic violence takes on many shapes, and today there are many forms of support for its victims, including counseling and shelters. I will share some hotline links to reach out for help towards the end of this coffee chat. I want to share a really unique video. It's called You'll Never Walk Alone. And here are the links for domestic violence. Give you a minute or so to take a look at those. So this video was done, it was actually recorded March 2020 at the beginning of the lockdown for COVID. It was recorded by a virtual choir and an orchestra that is representing 15 countries and 300 people participating. Thank you for tuning in to the Coffee Chat. I hope that each of you, whether you are a victim or know someone who's being abused, will reach out for support and understand that you'll never walk alone. Thank you.